Many Africans have come to me and said they will pay me thousands of dollars for me to help them to go to Europe. I haven't helped a single person, and I'm not going to do that. If Europe is so fantastic, why am I then in Africa?
You wanna come to Europe, huh? Stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! I get so many questions. Chef, I wanna work with you here in Europe. Chef, arrange a job for me in Europe. Guys, life is a bitch in Europe.
If you're well-to-do, if you're doing pretty good in your life, it's better to be doing really well in Africa than it is to be in America.
Never once in all my years of living or traveling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin color. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes.
Now, to the black people who want to go to Europe, there is no better life in Europe than what is in Africa. You see the black Americans coming back to Africa to look for a good life or to live better than how they've been living in Europe and the US and UK and many other Western countries. And you're packing your belongings, you want to go to Europe to go and enjoy life. There are no people enjoying life in Europe. And everything you see, like life enjoyment and good things in Europe and all that, that is the social media, not what is there, what is in the ground, not what is really happening there. Okay? People should learn to love their homes and stay in their homes. That is what message that I'm passing today. Because if you're going to get out of home, you want to go out there for you to be able to search a good future. Those who have been living there for many, many years, for quite some time, you cannot tell me they are too fools to now start packing their belongings and shifting back to Africa. And you want to pack your belongings from Africa. You're selling your land in Africa. I've come across cases where youths want to sell land so they can be able to go back to Europe for further education. They can be able to go back to Europe to get a good job, to get a good life, to search green pastures and all that. Green pastures are in Africa. In America and Europe, there is only snow, white pastures. But green pastures are in Africa. That is why even the Europe countries themselves, they come to Africa for them to get what they want. If a country in Europe or a European country or an American country can come to Africa to get what it wants, or they are coming to Africa for green pastures, how can you now, a single person, go to Europe for green pastures? You're living in a country where there is everything, in a country where there is food, there is minerals, there is wealth, there is everything you need, good air, fertile soil. Yeah, there is everything you need. As a black person living in Africa, you have everything you need. You only need to teach yourself to turn it into something important. Okay, and that one will start with our governments, how we are governing our people, and how we are working in leadership. So if even the Europeans themselves can come out and tell you there is no better life in Europe, you better listen. Because if you're not going to listen to this one, you may not listen to anybody else. While people are packing, you are going. You need to think twice when the deal is too good. Take a look at these videos. I'll come back and say something at the end of it. There is an old man that I don't want to mention his name. He is a friend of my family back there at home. Okay, and the stories that I was getting is like he had built a house, he had bought a land, and he had built rental houses. And so what this man did, this man wanted to go to the United States of America. He wanted to go there, I don't know, to work or something. He wanted to go there and get a good job and work. And so somebody told him that if he pays a certain money, he can be able to go to America and work there. So the man sold his land, leased his land to the bank.
Nobody talking about this. Ever since I came to Africa, many Africans have come to me and said they will pay me thousands of dollars for me to help them to go to Europe. I haven't helped a single person, and I'm not going to do that. Ask yourself, why, if Europe is so fantastic, why am I then in Africa? Does that make sense? If my own place is so fantastic, why would I be here? Now, you are ready to pay me thousands of dollars for you to go and work hard in Europe, for you to help Europe get back on track. Why won't you stay in Africa and make Africa get on track? It doesn't make sense. You're an African, so why don't you want to help your own continent to grow and prosper, but you want to go to my continent and make that prosper? It doesn't make sense. If you have thousands of dollars that you want to give me for me to help you to go there, spend those thousands of dollars to set up a business here in Africa. And if you need help with that one, I'm willing to help you, but I will never help you to go to Europe and suffer.
I dedicate this video to all my African brothers in Africa who are chefs. And I have a message for you. All of you. You wanna come to Europe, huh? Stupid! Stupid! I get so many questions. Chef, I wanna work with you here in Europe. Chef, arrange a job for me in Europe. Guys, life is a bitch in Europe. Life is not what you think it is in Europe. And your brothers and sisters that are here now will not tell you that because they're already ashamed. Okay? They're already ashamed. So they come home to you, they say, oh, life is fantastic. It's not. I lived 14 years in Tanzania. 14 years. Life is better. There's so much opportunity in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. All my brothers and sisters there, trust me, if you work hard, you graft hard, your life is much better. You want to know what's happening here in Europe when you come here? I'll give you my breakdown, okay? My flat, my tiny flat, 1,400 euros a month. My energy bill, 250 euros a month. My gas bill, 100 euros a month. My car license, my car insurance, 45 euros. My mobile phone, 50 euros. My TV, 40 euros. My local government tax, 160 euros a month. My list goes on. At the end of the month, I spent 3,000 euros only bills. And I'm not even fucking living yet. Then I have to buy my groceries, all my shit. So I come down to 4,000 euros. And you people, you think you come here, oh, I earn 4,000 euros. No, you're not, you dumb fuck. You pay taxes and bills, and you cannot escape it. You cannot escape those bills. The system is created that way. So if you earn your 400 euros in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Congo, you're way better off. And you have fucking freedom and a beautiful country. I want to quit in Europe. The only good thing here is my kids' education. That's it. But when that little fucker turns 18, I'm flying away back to Tanzania with the grace of God. So please stop asking me for jobs and shit from Africa. Life is not what you think it is. Suck on that. Now get the fuck back to work.
West Africa builds better houses than America and much of the Western world. I've built new homes in America and West Africa, and I can tell you, when you see the construction of new homes in West Africa, you're going to have a hard time settling for the junk they try to sell you in the United States. The biggest reason for this is, where does your money go when you purchase a new home? In America, most of the money that you pay for that new home is going into the land and into the permits necessary to build your house. Whereas in West Africa, most of the money that you're putting into the new home actually goes into the home itself. So you can have better building materials and a higher building standard than you can in America. In fact, let me compare two. This is the kind of build quality that you'll have in America if you're buying new home construction. It's basically as cheap as they possibly can make it to maximize their profits. Whereas check out West Africa. The walls are concrete. They're not cheap wood and drywall. The floors are marble. They're not this cheap artificial wood that they've been using in all the new homes that they call luxury in America. And the location of the houses makes a lot more sense in West Africa. In America, when you're buying new home construction, even luxury home construction, you're generally put off into this land of suburbia where you're 15 minutes away from the nearest store. Whereas in West Africa, you can purchase a home that's conveniently located to the metropolitan areas, which makes life a lot better on a day-to-day basis. And let's talk about privacy. In West Africa, you can build a privacy wall around your entire property. So people can't just walk up to your front door, or they can't just look in and see what you're doing. In West Africa, you get that safety, security, and convenience. Whereas in America, they only allow you to generally do these cheap vinyl fences, and if you're lucky, they can be 6 feet tall, and they can only be in your backyard. So everybody could just walk up to your front yard when you buy a new home construction in America. And in West Africa, new home construction isn't as restricted as it is in America. So if you want to build a 1-level house, you can do it. If you want to build a 6th bedroom instead of having a 5-bedroom, we can make that happen for you. And if you want a guest house, that's absolutely no problem. As long as you got enough space on your property, we can build that for you too. Instead of having to do it in America where you have to get permits for every little change that you make to the property. And as a result, the houses don't all look the same. Have you ever gone through a suburb in America and the only difference between any of the houses is what kind of vinyl they put on the front of the property? They call it a facade. Sometimes when I'm in a house in America, even a luxury new home construction, and I'm in one of the bedrooms, I have trouble telling the difference between the multi-million-dollar house and the much less expensive house for first-time home buyers. They use the same materials and they feel exactly the same on the inside. Whereas when you get new home construction in West Africa, the walls can be ornate. You can have really high quality doors. Everything's just gonna feel a lot more bespoke. And another little thing that I like about West African construction versus construction in the United States is the climate control. So in West Africa, every room can have its own individual climate control and can go to the temperature that's necessary for that room or that person's preference. Whereas in America, at most you're getting 1 or 2 zones of HVAC, meaning that everybody has to agree on what temperature is best for them. So if you're looking to build your dream home and you don't absolutely have to be in the Western world, I would really consider looking at new home construction in West Africa. I think you can get a lot more house for your money, but even for getting value play, I think that they build the houses much better at a higher quality, and they're just nicer places to live in than what you'll experience in the Western world where everything is basically cookie cutter. But I want to know what you guys think. Have any of you guys had a chance to live in West African houses and Western world houses? Let me know what your thoughts were comparing the two. And as always, if this video provided value to you, give me a like and a follow. That really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Or maybe I'll see you at one of our projects in West Africa. We'd love to sell you a house. Take care, guys. People in West Africa are starting to live better than people in the Western world. Now, I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm talking about if you're well-to-do, if you're doing pretty good in your life, it's better to be doing really well in Africa than it is to be in America. Now, I'm currently in America, and it's like a little bit of a culture shock coming back from Africa because when you come here, you're around people who, on paper, they're very successful, rich, and all that. But all of these people are drowning in debt. They got a nice car, but they don't own it. They've got a lease on it. They may say that they own a house, but they kind of do, but they have a huge mortgage on it. But in Africa, people own everything outright. And what does this lead to, like, in day-to-day life? Well, when you know someone who's well-to-do in Africa, they're a lot more relaxed. They feel like they can go on trips with you. They're a lot more generous. People here, even though they may have a lot of money on paper in America, the second they let their foot off the gas, the second they stop hustling, those bills will catch up on them really quick. And it shows like kind of why I feel West Africa is the future, because here people are putting up an appearance of being rich, well-to-do, but it's fueled by debt and it's fueled by them working 2 jobs. Husband and wife are both working high-paying jobs, 50 hours a week each, and doing all of that to just create this facade. Whereas in West Africa, once these guys have made it, they're living good lives. They're having that balance in life. and they're not killing themselves. So I think long term, who am I betting on? I'm betting on the lifestyle of West Africa.
I've lived in 5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I have also travelled extensively in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Egypt. Never once in all my years of living or travelling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin colour. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history. That's right, I was born in Great Britain.
Now, there is one thing we need to understand as Africans or as black people. One thing we should know is that there is no any other life apart from the life we are living here. This is the life that our ancestors gave to us and God gave to us. And we shouldn't be running out there to go and seek for another life or to go and try and show out to people that we can be able to do this, or we are capable, or we are potential for them to be able to notice us. You see? Because life is in Africa. Here in Africa is where you can get everything. Somebody selling land or selling property because you want to migrate, you want to go out and look for, I don't know, greener pasture, for further education and all that. Those things can actually happen here in Africa. The only thing we need is good leadership and people who are ready to work. Yeah, people who are ready to do things to help other people. Okay, because we were taught to understand we are poor. These were the plans and the strategies of the imperialists. They wanted us to be poor, like they wanted us to understand we are poor, because it was a matter of training the mind. They trained our mind. They were training our mind to understand that they are superior. They are greater than us, so that we cannot be able to see the potential we have. We can't be able to see the things that are around us. Yeah, we can't be able to notice our positions of strengths and all that. Yeah, our positions of courage and all that. Our positions of hope and all that. They wanted us to be poor, to see ourselves as good for nothing or as less superior, less supreme compared to them. Yeah, that is why even in schools, when we go to school, you are being taught about the supremacy of the white people or the Europeans and the British and all that. And we grew up knowing that if there are people who are superpower, are those people from Europe. We knew we as black people, we are less superior. And if we want to get something or achieve something, we must look unto them. We knew them as the better people. We knew them as the carriers of this world. Yeah, because even the education we used to, like the kind of education we were given in school, it was a kind of education that used to favor the white people. Look at the inventions that were in the books that we used to read in school. All the inventions belong to the white people. There is no single invention that belongs to a black person. And that is not the truth. Black people invented a lot of things, but they were shadow banned, not to come to light, not to be seen. Okay? And therefore, for many years, we've lived knowing that if we want a better life or if we want to live a good life, we have to migrate. We have got to go to America. We have to go to Europe so that we can be able to get a good life. That is why every youth right now, many youths, we're not talking mostly about the existing generation, because the existing generation is somehow, because if the story I've given you of this old man, he's an old man. He isn't a young man. But he wants to sell a land and sell the houses he has so they can be able to migrate to America, to go and build life in America, to go and get a good job and earn better in America. He no longer wants to live in Africa. He's even taking all the children and the wife, you see, because the system has made you to believe that in Africa there is poverty, that in Africa you cannot be able to survive well, you can't be able to live better. You must go to America. You must go to Europe for you to live better, okay? Because you've been trained Our minds have been trained to look or to perceive ourselves as poor people. And now that our minds are perceiving ourselves as poor people, or our countries or our continent, we tend to fall on the trap of white Americans are rich or the Europeans are richer than us. But you see these videos that I've just played for you. These are Europeans themselves saying there is no life here. If the people who are living there themselves can admit and confirm that there is no better life in Europe other than the life you're living in Africa, who are you not to listen to them? Yeah? Who are you not to listen to them? Because you see, we're trying to live a better life. Or we're trying to, you see, when we were growing up, we didn't know in America there are poor people. We used to know that all of Americans are rich. As long as they're white people, they're rich. Recently, when we were growing up, we've come to realize poverty is everywhere, not only in Africa. Poverty is also in America. That you can walk in the streets of America and find white people sleeping on the streets. They have nowhere to go. They have no homes. Like, things are just the same. To an extent, we wonder. And you know, all these things that we are seeing about the beauty of America and the greatness of America in Europe countries, it is the mainstream media that are reporting these kind of things. So they are painting their countries to be better and good compared to our countries, or to compared to Africa. Yeah, so that many people could see that Africa is poor. They want Africa to look poor so that when they come to take whatever they're taking from Africa, nobody will be able to say these people are taking what belongs to us. Because of course, even some other Africans or Black Americans who are in the US, they don't know Africa is rich. They have never known that, because what they're being taught about Africa is something that does not even exist. Okay, and so there is no poverty in Africa. Africa and the Africans, their minds have been sabotaged to understand that there is poverty in Africa. There is no poverty in Africa. In Africa, there is wealth. There is everything in Africa. But you have been brainwashed to understand that in Africa is where there is poverty. Okay? Even we Africans ourselves, we feel like America is better than us. France is better than us. They are greater. When they call us uncivilized, we agree we are uncivilized. Look at what is happening in France. Yeah? When they call black people in Africa uncivilized, look at what is happening in France. They have forgotten to realize that it is not a matter of uncivilization. It's a matter of fighting for the rights. Whenever you push people to the wall, they are going to retaliate. Yeah? They're going to retaliate, definitely. And that is what is happening, because people have power. But when it's happening to their countries, they will call it demonstrations and their rights, constitutional rights. But when it's happening to Africa, they call it uncivilization. Yeah? We are called illiterate. We don't know how to read. Yeah, they want us to learn and to know how to read like them. So they have implanted a certain thing in our midst that is not really good. It's an implant. It's growing daily. It's growing daily. It makes us look like we are not good people. Yeah, and it has made even us ourselves believe in our own selves as not good people who are associated with bad and not good at any time. So there is no poverty here. Black people should remain in, because you can't be flying to America and you see like African Americans are flying back to the country, to the continent. So those who have been there for more than 40, 50 years, they're coming back. You have never been there. You want to go there. Can't you just read the lines and join the dots? It's just simple. Let's remain home and build home. That's what Traore says. Remain home and build home. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I read the comments and give a response where possible. I am a presenter of the African Streamline, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe. If you're watching me for the first time, please consider pressing that notification bell. Be the first person to get every episode as it really comes in. I am your best presenter. Thank you for stopping over. I tell you, every day Africa is home, and anything that concerns Africa concerns me and you as black people. Again, don't forget to share your thoughts with me in the comment section. I want to read them. I want to give a response. Until next episode, peace be with you.